Hello, the international audience over there, the diaspora, the United Kingdom, the USA, Australia, Sweden. I'm here this morning with a very important guest. A man whose name has appeared so many times in the diaspora, on the internet, and a man who many times I've tried to meet, but obviously because of his very busy schedule, I've not been able to meet him. Yesterday I put a phone call to him and he said, come over here, 11 o'clock, we'll have the interview. Audience out there, those that watch Global Media Europe International, I'm here this morning with Honorable Commissioner for Works, Mr. Don Etim. Welcome, Don.
Thank you.
Now, Don Etim is the man who is handling most of the projects in Akwa Ibom State, and I'm going to ask him some questions about that and hopefully get an update of what is happening. Also have an idea of the vision and the mission of His Excellency behind these projects. Don, I think it was 3 days ago at Okana, we went to the police college, to have a look at the site. And the governor described you as his miracle commissioner. I found that quite significant. Are you a miracle commissioner? I mean, is it the way you've been carrying on with your work?
Well, I would say he's a miracle governor. He inspires us, and he brings out the best in his followers. So you would not but devote time, energy, resources to a vision that he has laid out very clearly. Basically, in very brief words, his vision is to transform Akwa Ibom State and bring it into a modern state comparable to anyone that we travel far and wide to see abroad. It therefore means that we, working under him, must be extra committed to try and achieve this in 4 years. And you would note that we have, in 3 years, done marvelously well.
Incredible, yes.
By any standard.
Yes.
So I guess everybody in his team
is a miracle.
Is a miracle commissioner. Everybody, and even the followers. So I mean, that is the kind of leader we have. He doesn't expect anything less. He works you to your bones. And we don't have time for frivolities,
Okay.
Project monitoring, project execution, timelines, project management, cross-monitoring, so many things.
How is it like working with Governor Babio? What's it like? I mean, you said he inspires you. Is he a stickler to detail? I mean, what's it like?
Well, to be very realistic, there are few people who have a combination of so many positives in their personality traits as Governor Godswill Akpabio. I once read a book that said that Bill Clinton could do 7 things at the same time. I think Governor Akpabio can do 10 things at the same time, because for him to be in charge of the array of ministries, the array of bureaus under him, the political class here, the House of Assembly, the judiciary, the people of Akwa Ibom, for him to cut across and mean different things to different people and to inspire the kind of followership that he is, drawing. He's like a magnet. You must admire the man. He has a humility that is infectious. He has a personality that is charming. He goes places and he pulls the crowd. He sits with kings and he's a king. He sits with poor people and you see him a poor person. So for me, I keep telling him, and I tell everybody, Governor Akpabio is God sent. There's no doubt about it. And he has a purpose, because God doesn't do things, without a purpose. So he's a man that is extremely approachable. You can talk with him, you can play with him. He doesn't wear the pips and the airs of office, carries himself about and intimidates people. No. In council, We admire his wisdom, the way he drives arguments left and right.
Yeah.
Exactly, and his wit, certainly. So for me, I see a man who has qualities I am copying. I am trying to, exactly. So I'm older than him, but it doesn't make any difference.
Yes.
He blends with all of us within the age bracket group. Those older than him, much older, are elders. Those much junior. So he's a very amiable person. He's a very amiable person.
Wonderful. I was his classmate in school from first year to a final year, and I can agree 100% with what you're saying. Now let's go to the work itself. Okay. Now, can you tell the diaspora out there and those who are watching on YouTube and Google, tell us what projects that you are handling now? I mean, I know there are so many projects, but
well, basically, the projects we are handling now were laid out by the vision of the governor. It basically had to do with transforming the road network infrastructure and the transportation infrastructure. The argument is simply you cannot access various parts of the state if you don't have the roads to do so. You cannot tap into the wealth, the agricultural wealth of different places. You cannot move services or goods around. You cannot attract investors. You cannot encourage tourism. You cannot develop commerce or industry in a place that doesn't have roads. So he came up and scientifically too set up a team that delivered an international concern that delivered a road and transportation master plan, which now guided us into the scientific approach in how to pick and determine roads that require immediate attention. Of course, there's a political angle. He made political promises to our people, and he has been able to blend that. So right now, in the road and transportation sector, we are handling about 26 different road projects handled by different types of companies, from five-star companies.
So there are 26 companies.
There are 26 companies. 26 major road contracts spread all over the local governments in the state that are being pursued now. And the summation of that, you have about 450 kilometers of road network being handled by the state. Never has it happened. Out of that, you have 198.6 kilometers of federal roads. Federal roads.
How many of those roads
are federal roads? We have about 5 major federal arteries, totaling 198.6 kilometers.
Amazing.
And then you have the balance of that is a combination of urban roads and state roads. So we're looking at a total of about 250 state roads, and inside the 250 we have about 170 urban roads.
So you've got 250 state roads.
State roads, and within that 250, about 170 are dedicated to urban areas.
Like
Ikorebede, Uyo, Eket, Etina, Abak, Ikodabasi, Oron. In Oron, we are doing about 33 roads, major roads. In Uyo, about 20 major roads. In Ikorebede, we're doing about 27. In Ikodabasi, about 18. In Abak, about 19.
And Eket.
And Eket, about 49. 49 in Eket alone. Wow. So the idea is also to try and bring up the infrastructure, the road infrastructure in urban areas at par with what is happening in developed cities in Nigeria. So this was his vision, and we keyed into it, and he encouraged the introduction of 5